Attention, UK pensioners, something big is happening. And if you receive your state pension or other DWP benefits, you need to listen carefully. Starting July 4, 2025, brand new rules are being introduced that affect how your pension is paid, and more importantly, where it can be paid. Yes, we're talking about major changes to bank account requirements, changes that could impact millions of pensioners across the country. Under these new DWP guidelines, only certain types of bank accounts will be accepted for receiving pension payments. If your current account doesn't meet the updated security or verification standards, you may be blocked from receiving your pension until changes are made. The Department for Work and Pensions is implementing these rules as part of a broader crackdown on fraud prevention. But for everyday pensioners, especially seniors who may not check their banking details often, this could create real disruption. Imagine waking up in July expecting your payment, and it's not there. No warning, just confusion. That's already happened in small pilot programs where similar checks were trialed, and now it's going nationwide. Some people have been told to switch accounts, provide additional ID, or even visit their bank in person, something that's not easy for those with mobility issues or who live in rural areas. This isn't about changing the amount of your pension, it's about access to it. And if you don't act in time or stay informed, you might face delays, missed payments, and stress that could have been avoided. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's changing, who's affected, and what you need to do right now to protect your pension income. Before we get into it, do me a favor. Click the like button so this vital information reaches more pensioners across the UK. Trust me, it could save someone a lot of trouble this summer. Let's get started. So let's break this down properly. You might be sitting at home thinking, well, I've had the same bank account for years, and my pension's always been paid into it. Why would that change now? And that's a completely fair question. For decades, UK pensioners have relied on a predictable system. Pension payments from the DWP arrive like clockwork into the same bank or building society account every 4 weeks or every month. It's the backbone of retirement security for millions of people. But starting on July 4, 2025, the Department for Work and Pensions is rolling out new banking compliance measures. And trust me, it's not just a minor tweak. It's a shift in how your pension interacts with the banking system. What's happening is part of a larger modernization effort that the DWP says is focused on payment safety, identity verification, and anti-fraud protections. But in practice, what it means is this. If your current bank account doesn't meet the updated digital verification standards, or if it's held with a provider not included in the government's new secure payment network, you could see your pension delayed, frozen, or even temporarily stopped until things are corrected. That sounds scary, and for good reason. Because while the changes are meant to protect public money, they also place the burden on you, the pensioner, to make sure you're compliant with new rules that many people haven't even heard about. Now, here's where it gets even trickier. A lot of pensioners still use basic bank accounts, savings accounts, or even credit union setups. Some people receive payments into joint accounts held with a partner, while others might still use very old accounts that don't support instant payments or don't meet newer ID standards. In the past, that was perfectly fine, but now those accounts could be deemed ineligible under the DWP's July regulations. If you fall into that category, you'll likely receive a notification, but not everyone will get one in time. In fact, some might not find out until the payment doesn't arrive. And by then, the stress and confusion will already be at your doorstep. The DWP has stated they'll be working closely with major UK banks to identify accounts that do not meet the new payment conditions. But here's the catch, not all banks are moving at the same pace. Some banks may already be compliant, and others may take more time to upgrade their systems or integrate with the government's new anti-fraud platform. So even if your bank is a household name, you still need to check directly with them. It's not just about where your pension goes, it's about how your bank communicates with government systems and whether your account type qualifies under the new criteria. Now, let's imagine a very common scenario. You're a 72-year-old pensioner living in a small town, maybe using an account you opened 20 years ago. You go to the same branch, maybe even know the teller by name. You haven't changed your setup because, well, why fix what isn't broken? But suddenly, you hear that unless your account meets these updated standards, your pension payment may be paused. You call your bank, but the person on the phone isn't sure. You try to contact the DWP, and they say you'll get a letter if needed. Meanwhile, the calendar is ticking toward July 4th, and you're not sure whether you'll be able to pay your rent, your electricity bill, or even your weekly shop if that money doesn't come through. This isn't just hypothetical. In fact, in the recent trial phase in selected regions, many pensioners reported exactly this kind of confusion. Some received letters too late. Others didn't understand the technical language. A few even assumed it was a scam and ignored it, which meant their payments were suspended because they failed to act. That's the very real risk we're facing, not because people are careless, but because the information has been scattered, complicated, and not well publicized. And let's face it, not everyone is comfortable checking online banking or navigating government websites. Especially older pensioners, those living alone, or those without family nearby to help, could face serious issues when this change becomes official. Another group particularly affected are pensioners who live abroad, but still receive their UK state pension into UK accounts. In those cases, international account access or dual currency setups might fall foul of the new rules. The DWP has said they will review cross-border banking arrangements to ensure payments are only made into secure, verifiable accounts. But again, that's a vague promise. For expats or dual residents, this could mean needing to open a brand new account, possibly requiring in-person verification or additional documentation. And we all know how difficult it can be to deal with overseas banks or consulates when you're retired and far from home. And while we're on the topic of verification, one of the most important parts of this change is digital identity checks. Starting from July, pensioners will need to ensure their accounts are linked to updated identity records, likely including their national insurance number, passport, or other official ID. The DWP says this is to protect against impersonation or fraudulent redirection of benefits, which has sadly increased in recent years. But that also means if you haven't updated your details with your bank, or if your name is different due to marriage, divorce, or other life changes, you may get flagged by the system. Again, something as simple as a mismatched surname could cause a delay. Another thing to be aware of is how this change might affect other benefits. If you're receiving housing benefit, pension credit, attendance allowance, or any other form of financial support tied to your DWP record, an issue with your bank account could delay those payments too. These systems are interconnected. If your bank rejects a payment or fails a verification check, that issue can cascade through the entire benefit system. So the impact isn't just one payment, it could be your whole monthly income stream. That's why it's so important to act before this becomes a crisis. And look, I understand, there's already so much going on. Rising energy bills, NHS waiting lists, inflation, uncertainty about the future. This just feels like one more thing thrown on the pile. But I promise you, the few hours you spend now checking with your bank, updating your ID, and confirming your account status could save you weeks of stress down the line. You don't want to be that person sitting on the phone with DWP's helpline for hours, waiting for a resolution while your bills stack up. So what happens if your account does get flagged after July 4th? The DWP says they will issue a notice, usually by post, asking you to update your account information. Once you've provided the right details, your payments will resume, but they will not necessarily be backdated automatically. That's right. If a payment fails due to a non-compliant account, it may not be automatically reissued. You may need to submit a formal request or dispute, which can take weeks. That delay can cause hardship, overdraft fees, missed rent, and emotional stress, especially for people with no backup funds. That's why this video is so important. It's not about fear. It's about preparation and peace of mind. If you're watching this and you're a UK pensioner, or you know someone who is, take this seriously. Speak with your bank. Make sure your ID is current. Confirm that your account is compatible with the new DWP banking system. And if necessary, make the switch now while you have time. Don't wait until July. Because once the payments start getting held, the backlog of complaints and help requests could slow everything down even more. Before we wrap up, I want to say thank you for watching this far. This video might not be flashy, but it's the kind of information that can genuinely protect people's lives and livelihoods. And that's why I do what I do, to keep you informed, empowered, and in control of your future. If you found this video helpful, please don't keep it to yourself. Click the like button, share it with your family, your neighbors, your WhatsApp group, your church friends, your book club, anyone who's on a pension in the UK and might not know what's coming. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future updates. There's more coming on this topic. I'll be covering how the DWP plans to review old pension records, what to expect with the next pension triple lock increase, and how to challenge a payment suspension if it happens to you. So stick with me. We're all in this together.